He used to live, he used to prosper in the forest. He did not know how to cook, how to build homes, how to create a family, or how to socialize. Aryans was the first, they were the first race who knew all these things. They were ritualized, they were civilized. So one question comes, should arise in our minds, that how they actually got to civilize themselves. You know, the substance they had with them, the treasure they had with them were the Vedas. Because the Vedas, they guide you, they instruct you, they have the postulates of your life. They tell you what to do and what not to do. And they used to follow the Vedas. That's how they became civilized. That's what Vedas have in our lives. That's the role of the Vedas in our lives. Until date, they have a very important role. They had played an important role in our lives. So, astrology, being a key pillar of the Vedas, it's also known as the eyes of the Vedas. Veda Chakshu, Vedon ke Netra. Astrology is called as the eyes of the Vedas. So, the Vedas, they have all the points that a person in his life should do, should follow in order to lead a successful and a spiritual life. So in modern terminology, we can say that the Vedas, they are the manual of a successful lifestyle. So astrology was a tool to observe people, to eke out some human tendencies on the basis of which the postulates, the verses of Vedas were created. One of the example of this observance is, there are three types of categories in which we can put each and every person on this earth. The three gunas, the Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. You can still find a predominance of one particular guna in every person existing in this world. Each and every person is proclived towards one of these gunas. Some people are sattvic, as you all are, because you are here in the satsang. Some are tamasic. They have different activities in their lives. Some are rajasic. They have a very inflated ego. So, there's a concept which was given by Vedas back in the time immemorial. So astrology is one of the keys which was used by our respected rishis and munis to create these concepts in our lives on the basis of which we can stabilize ourselves, we can become civilized. So that's what the role of astrology was in the past. So many people still who are unaware of the fact what astrology has to offer in this world, what role astrology plays in our lives, they sometimes criticize, so they sometimes debunk astrology, that it's unscientific, it's unproven, untestable. You know, there's a great saying that one cannot learn what he thinks he already knows. If you already have in your mind that you know this thing, you'll never be able to discover what are the depths of the knowledge it has got. So the people who criticize astrology, they really do not know what is it all about. And even I was not untouched of the fact that astrology could be that real, it could be that scientific. Because in my life, there are so many of incidences that I came across, and it totally changed my life. And when I now study them in the view of astrology, then I get to know that how real they were and how possible, they were already present in my life. They had to occur. And so they did. When I was a student, when I was studying in my school, I was totally motivated to become a doctor. I was studying medicine, and I did for an year. I was in a medical school, and suddenly I dropped out. I don't know why and what happened. I liked studying psychology, so I took admission in psychology, and I completed my major in psychology. I was about to go for a PhD. But incidentally, I just, by the advice of my respected father, I went into that institute which offered a course in astrology, and I took admission out of nowhere. I did not know what is it all about. I never knew that astrology could be a subject which can be mastered, which could be studied. So I went into the institute, I took admission, I started studying astrology. I spent pretty good 2 years in that subject. And initially I was totally bored. I did not know anything about it. I was not able to know anything about it. So I thought I would quit. I'll not carry on further with astrology. But somewhere, few incidences, few of my friends, they came up to me, they asked me something about their lives. And I remember one of my friend, he came up to me and he asked me that if you're studying astrology, you must tell me about my future, how my year would be. And I thought, okay, let's now apply my techniques on him. Whatever I've studied, let me apply it on him, on his life. So I studied his chart, I studied his horoscope, and with all I had learned, I told him that next year you'll not be able to pass your exam, you're gonna flunk. And there'll be a breakdown in your career. And out of nowhere, I did not know anything, and he was totally not inclined towards spirituality, but I told him that you will have a space in your life where you will join some school of meditation and yoga. And I remember the next year, February, he flunked in his exams and he joined some yoga school and he took an ear drop. I was totally amazed by the fact that this happened. And then I bounced back to astrology. I thought, if it can be true, the way I told him, as it is, it happened in his life, then there has to be something. And then when I started studying about people, when I started reading various charts of the people who came up to me, and I found there was a great correlation between what the horoscopes told me and what the events that occurred in his life. And there were bits of information which was pretty much clear, and much effort was required to be on the part of astrologer to be made to fill the gap, to be totally able to find out each and every incidences of the life of the person. Day by day, it's that minute, it's that accurate. We can do that. But provided fact that the date of birth and the time should be as accurate as possible. So, about astrology, how do we study the events of the life of a person? Scientists, the origin of the world, what scientists believe is, they believe in Big Bang Theory. When there was nothing in the world, the whole mass of Earth was combined into a single piece, single entity, and there was a Big Bang, and this universe, it was dispersed in small, different sized blocks of mass of elements and the metals. And this world, the Earth, is one of those blocks. So, in Big Bang Theory, we study about the electromagnetic waves. Each and every planet on the universe, they emit electromagnetic waves which make them revolve around sun and get into an attraction, gravitational force with each other. And that's why when we observe around us, we can see nothing is constant, everything is moving. And it all depends upon the revolution of the earth around the sun. The weather changes, we have winters, we have summers, all because of the revolution of the earth. There is fall, there is spring season, there are different seasons. It's all because of the revolution of the earth. The distance between the earth and the sun, it makes changes in the weather around us. And our behavior, it also changes along with the seasons. You must have observed that. And there had been a lot of studies right here in the United States. They suggest that, when the moon, when it waxes and it wanes, there's a change in the temperament of the prisoners and the patients of the mental asylums. It's a very important study which has occurred in the United States. They tell you that how the position of the moon, they bring about changes in the behavior of the people who have some imbalance in their mind. Also, there's a recent study which tell you that the DNA, if you know, and if you don't know, then I must tell you that there's a model of DNA. DNA is like a small SD card chip which is there inbuilt in our cells, the cells of the body, which stores the various information. Because when we are born, there is a particular structure of body that we are born with. That is inherited from our parents. So we inherit some information from our parents, from our ancestors. That's what DNA does in our body. And there is a recent study which states that DNA has a different structure which creates electromagnetic waves which get synchronized with the waves that come from the celestial sphere, from different planets. And when these waves come in touch with the different electromagnetic waves that are present around here, we get a change in our behavior. That's why we see that in families, when the child is born, sometimes he goes totally different and totally against the way other family members are. Or sometimes they are very close to the behavior of all the other family members. So these discrepancies, they occur, the mutations that occur in the lives of the people, it's all because of the influence of the planets. And these planetary radiations, they affect our lives a lot. And this was discovered way back by the rishis, the sages. But we failed to recognize. But now I think it's a time for revival, because there's a lot to be studied, there's a lot to be researched on astrology, which can bring about very deep secrets of the life of the people. We have many applications of astrology in our lives. For example, marriage. When we get married, we know many marriages, they fail to succeed. They fail to sustain. They don't get along well. Because when we're seeing a person, we are not aware of over 90% of the personality the person has. We are just aware of the 10% that is at the disposal. What's back in the unconscious mind, we don't know. We'd hardly get to know, because even if we spend 5 to 10 years with a person. We never know what's there in the back of the mind, which is a very huge area. So, astrology, and when we get married, we find the person to be unpredictable, unexpected, which we never had expected before, that the person will behave in such and such manner. But eventually that happens, which creates misunderstandings, marriages drop off. So when we match the horoscope of the two people, it's also very huge amount of calculation is required. It's not a matter of 5 or 10 minutes that we match a horoscope and just tell you that, yeah, please go ahead with this matter or please drop off. It requires a huge amount of calculation to pinpoint exactly that the two people, they are suitable for each other or not. Because there are very dark spots in the personality of the people which can only be found out with the help of astrology. There's no other instrument that can do it for you. And likewise, the birth of the child, there are many couples who are not able to have a child. So astrology does that for you. It finds out that whether you have that particular opportunity to have a child or not, or even if you have a child in your life, will the child be healthy? Will he be successful in his life or not? So it sees for a very long period of time. It evaluates your life plus the life of your future generations. It has a very broad spectrum. It has a very long vision. It's not limited to the sunshine columns of a daily newspaper that you read, and you judge it on the basis of that. Many people think that it's a subject to kill the time, to pass your time. It's a good topic of discussion. And I sometimes assume that our respected sages, the rishis, they were so knowledgeable, they were so learned. Whether really they would have spent their entire life, they gave up on everything in their life just to discover something which is a matter of time pass. So I don't think so. And when I delved into the subject deeply, when I studied it properly, then I got to know that it's much beyond what we know. So I think it's a time to sum up, and maybe next time we'll come up with some new facts, some new information, some better knowledge, so that you people will start to know about what astrology is all about and what it has to offer. So thanks for now, and I'll come up again with some new things. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
जय श्री राम। आज भगवान श्री राम जी का सालाना अभिषेक हुआ है और हमारे गुरु चतुर्वेदी जी ने बहुत सुंदर से श्रृंगार बनाया। ये भी एक ईश्वर का देन है और वृंदावन का एक झलक है। तो पांडे जी, भगवान जी का दर्शन कराइए और आरती के लिए सभी लोग खड़े हो जाएं। बारी बारी से आरती करेंगे और आरती के बाद प्रसाद लेकर फिर हम जाएंगे डाइनिंग हॉल में। ये कार्यक्रम शनिवार तक जारी रहेगी। आज आप लोगों का उपस्थिति बहुत अच्छा है, बट कृपा करके इसी तरह से अपना सहयोग देते रहें, क्योंकि मंदिर का जो शान है वो भक्तों से मिलता है। जब आप आते हैं तो मंदिर का शोभा बढ़ जाता है और हमारे महाराज जी के पुत्र ने बहुत